So after all the breakdown and all those things happened, so this is the part where I think the main thing that took place of my entire journey has started, I must say. So the main thing that happened after the breakdown was physical symptoms like they started to emerge. As the breakdown settled, the nervous system began sending distress signals. The most noticeable thing was this the throat tightening habit. The pattern of the throat tightening, it was like it used to stay ideal. It used to flare up during the ideal time, like whenever I was just sitting and just doing nothing, just staring at the clock or sideways. That is the time the throat tightening used to flare up. Like the leisure time, whenever watching web series or gaming, okay, feeling unproductive, or when I used to like compare constantly myself to the others. So that is the also main motto that the habit used to flare up, and it used to disappear when I was in a deep focus, or when I was talking with my friends, socially laughing, having my lunch, dinner, and an intense conversation, working with my mentor. That time it used to disappear. So it was a totally disastrous. Even now it does, but I think I have coded it many, like I have coded it a lot more fluently. I originally thought that this throat alignment was because of the anxiety, and the main reason my anxiety spiked up because of the misalignment with my goals. I was believing that if I wasn't consistently working, my body was punishing me in that particular way. And the another conclusion for this throat tightening that I have given is was for the 129 days. I totally ran on the adrenaline, and the full power of my brain was used. But now that I am planning to sustain my goals, I'm not doing anything that is heavily burdened, or I'm trying, like I usually now avoid the things which I don't think are necessary, or I don't force to be productive. And now that I have extra energy to spare, so my brain is just going with the flow, or just expanding that extra energy with this throat movement, throat tightening. It was starting like this and then just settling down. Well, the reality was that my nervous system only found peace when I was stopping self-monitoring. Like my identity, I told already, it's based on the future me, which doesn't exist, which only exists in the fantasy or in the future. That is the way on that as my self-identity is built on. And to achieve that kind of expertise, or to touch to my future self, I have to achieve in that direction. I have to progress in that direction. Sorry for the misalignment, but here this friend of mine, Tejas, he is watching Naruto Shippuden, and the episode in which your nine tails, whose name is Kurama, and our main character Naruto, when they both like to go for the fist bump, and he share all of his chakra with him, and that he just becomes the Kurama. Yeah, dako dako dako. Here's the preview. This is what I was talking about. So my whole attention just got disturbed. Huh. So that's that for the fun part. Now I was on the self-monitoring. So and that is also the reason why he told me that we must leave by 10:30, but now it's 10:50 in the late evening, at night, I may say. So that is the reason why we are stopping. He stopped here. Till that time, I can also complete this recording. So that was the reason for the anxiety. And then the phase three, that is external trigger and internal growth. It took place in the January when I realized that I lost 15 marks in my mathematics exam. Instead of regretting or just staying at that point that I lost my marks, what should I do? Should I cry? I decided to move on, and I subconsciously told myself that it is not in my self-interest that if I were to think about this thing now. Well, it's not like I can change the outcome, so just leave it at that. And then my mentor introduced me to the concept of 18 hours immersion. My mentor, he told me that there are particular windows in your life where you have to be intensely immersed or consistent intensely in particular things. Whether you say it may be your project, or if you are working on some kind of project, that is when you have to immerse. We may call it the seasoned immersion. Like the farmer grows specific crops in specific seasons only. It's not like they can grow cotton in your summer season. That's how he told me that there are some season window in your life where you have to give your utmost. And it said that currently I'm enrolled in BC, that is 3 year course. 1.5 year has already passed. So he told me that this 3 year window of yours, it is a season window in which you have to be consistently intensify your hours. And he also introduced me the concept of a rising cost of failure after the age of 25. Supers, after the age of 25. Means, just think of it that way. Till the age of 25, nobody questions you even if you were to fail. You can try one thing 100 times, 200 times, you can fail hundreds of times. No one will question you. But after the age of 25, the cost of failure started to surface itself. If you are in working in some kind of corporate job, if you were to fail there, the other will demand you the explanation. And we can take same for any another aspect of your life. Just say you are married, and if you were to fail at any particular things, the another 3 to 5 people who are reliable on you, or who are responsible, or whose responsibilities are on your shoulder, they get disturbed as well. Okay. This is not any kind of impressing video, just sharing my thoughts. I need to document it. That's that. And so he said that till the age of 25, fail as many times as you want. No one will question you. It's not like you can't fail after the 25, but as you fail after the age of 25, things will start to get a bit difficult for you. The rising cost of the failure after 25, it's difficult to pay. Okay, this concept become the psychological fuel for me. It started taking me towards the thing that I needed, but it also activated the deep fear of becoming ordinary. I was thinking that if I were to stay ordinary, then I would have to pay the price for the failure after the 25. So I was thinking of becoming the best till the age of the 25. And then the comparison with a colleague as well. I literally started to compare myself with others. I started to compare myself with the people who have been in this field for 10 years. And I was thinking that why can't I be like those? But as of now, I am starting to understand, no, Oh, no, things takes time. Then there is the fourth phase in which I s- decoded myself more. Although, even though I am saying that I decoded myself, can't say whether I am the things that I'm saying whether they're correct or not. Only time will tell me. Okay, this is the identity split issue. This is the most critical realization of my journey. I confront my validation addiction, imaginary audience syndrome, as I told you. I imagine myself to the imaginary audience from the fantasy who are praising me, who are coming to me, who are asking me for the doubts, and I'm clearly clarifying them their doubts in a very easy manner. And this comparison, in some sense, it derived from my mentor, as I am having conversations with him daily whenever he is leaving the college. Our research club is at the second floor, so the staircase of the second floor, first floor, and then till the ground floor and till the parking. I daily walk with him and ask him whatever my mind or whatever my concerns are, and then he tells me, and he provides the solution. He provides our math top class. So that is the also reason why I am imagining myself in that particular stage. Let me just see how long the video has been. It's already been 11 minutes, so it doesn't matter. So, and then deep-seated fear, and also the deep-seated fear of being average. I realized that the two distinct identities are fighting inside in this small skull of mine. Those are the performance-driven identity, the source of anxiety. This was the major source of anxiety. It needs to prove itself and it fears being ordinary and it compares itself constantly, even to a protagonist, and thrives on recognition. If I were to get recognized, there are my two mentors, the one who is calm and composed, and the other one who is a very motherly figure, who just gives you, who appreciates each and every actions of your, who laughs at your very dumb jokes, and she tend to explain you the things in a way the mother does. So she ge I try to gain the recognition of her, and that my performance-driven identity is sort of addicted to that. And the mechanism as well. When these ide mechanism is that when this identity leads or when this identity sits on the driver's seat, it triggers internal pressure, and that internal pressure leads to self-monitoring. Self-monitoring leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to throat tightening, and whenever this part of my tightens, it this whole part, the back of my ears, the back of my head, this all started to flare up in the pain, and that pain leads to frustration. And in that frustration, if someone were to call me, even if the dumb jokes, I just get angry. So that is the chain, and it just keeps repeating itself. And the another one is the curiosity-driven identity. This is the identity which is responsible for the flow state of my mind. My flow state of my mind is such that when I am sitting and if I am doing the things which I like understanding machine learning logics, how the pixels shift behind your image, or how the computer architecture works, at that time I don't notice the flow of the time. And this identity, this curiosity-driven identity, it makes it possible that even if someone were, if even if there were used to be no one in the world who will recognize my work or who will give me recognition for that things or validate my work, I would still do that particular work because I am doing that particular work for my own validation, for my own satisfaction. The it flare-ups that when this identity is under driver's seats, it triggers a flow state. That flow state lead to peace. The piece here I am mentioning is that there is no throat tightening, there is no self-monitoring. My nervous system literally feels safe because this is the type of feeling it needs 24 by 7 to just stop monitoring itself. So happiness and clarity, all the things just I envision, they came to life in the flow state. But I don't notice the passage of the time, so that feelings, boom, just goes away. And now there is another emotional recalibration. The 3rd February, that is my birthday. Then after turning 20, a mass from through a, brought a massive emotional breakdown. I broke down to my father, dismantled the toxic belief that as the eldest child, I have to hide my struggles. His response that he responded that doesn't matter how big you became, even if you were to turn like 40 years old, it would not matter. You would still be a child for me. That what he told me, and he responded that we want only your good. You will always be our child, and that shattered my isolation. He gifted me a foundation meditation practice that said, observe my thoughts, don't control them, ignore the thoughts, return to the breathing, and laugh at the distraction. Even if a little bit thoughts were to flare up, just laugh at them. And now, as it is mid-February, the current state of my mind. Okay, now currently I'm in the phase where I'm thinking it doesn't do you any good if you were to protect your ego for each and every time. You have to shed your ego whenever there is not necessary. There has to be ego. I'm not saying that ego is a bad thing. It is a good thing, but it no longer has to be in the under control. Like whenever you are admitting your mistake, don't let your ego meddle. If your ego is in the middle of that particular action, then that is the time when instead of accepting your mistake, you just find the excuse that that mistake was not from my part. You try to deny that. Even if you are in total control, still you deny that. So that is the time you should must not let your ego be in the between. And now, as of now, I am currently shedding my ego. I am no longer burnout, but I am dealing with the discomfort of being a beginner again because I started from a total scratch. I talked with my big brother. He told me that as you are really relying on the AI, all the logic that is being provided is from the artificial intelligence. You can't say that you own the logic, but I needed to change that definition. The logic has to be mine. So to develop that thing, I started the minimal use of the artificial intelligence, doing all the things from my own. Because it's not like there is some kind of manager of mine who is demanding the work, like why didn't you complete? Because now this window is that no one is demanding me any kind of work. So I can just sit back and just do my best. No results monitoring, no one is monitoring, no one is asking me for anything. So no one does. The one thing that I mostly understood is that no one demands anything from you. No one has any kind of expectations from you. So doesn't matter even if you were to walk naked around. The people will only remember these things for 1 to 2 or 3 days, max to max 1 week. Then they will forget because everyone is so busy in their life. So doesn't matter what you do. Just tend to do the experiments. And the truth right now is that I am accepting that the fundamentals matter and mastery over a particular concept take times. And actively reducing the AI dependency and recognizing that wanting outcome without the process isn't laziness. It's a low tolerance for discomfort when I am actively building, which I'm actively building, okay? And you still feel behind and comparison runs subconsciously. But now you have the awareness to catch that loop before it consumes you. Okay, so the ultimate conclusion that, oh, by the way, I documented all these things with the help of OpenAI's ChatGPT. Like for the past 7 months, I have been chatting with it each and every day to think what are the here. But that is also kind of over dependency. I am reducing those from today onwards. So the final conclusion is that there was never, this was never a productive journey. It was an identity restructuring. I dismantled a fragile ego-driven engine and are meticulously building a stable, curiosity-driven one. You didn't lose momentum, you calibrated your direction. So that was the very massive one, totally 30 minutes if we calculate the part one as well. This will serve as the thing for my future version from 10 years from today. Today's date is 19th February 2026 and the time is 11:05 p.m. in the night. I will see the same video after 10 years or after years or two maybe. So to think how I was and how I have become. No comparison, just for the fun purpose, just for the memory recalibration. त्याच्या तोंड दाखव. This idiot friend of mine watching Naruto as of now. So see ya.